a nigga hit the lottery, so when you going up, how can you plummet? Damn, you stun it. On the land, when you expand the grands, they understand who run it. In the gym, you brung it. Coming from all the fans, the Kansas City man do.
Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Basie, and I'm here today to do an Ask Basie video. I apologize that it's taken a while, but I don't have any excuse. I'm just gonna say I apologize, and I hope y'all enjoyed the video. This video, basically, if you guys aren't familiar with my Ask Basies, and sorry if y'all hear the vacuum, you know, children are cleaning, but if you're not familiar with Ask Basies, they're just where you guys send me questions or, you know, want my advice or my thoughts and opinions on your situation. And of course you don't have to take it, but you ask, so I give this advice. And if any of you guys would like to send me any questions, the Ask Basie email account is down below. So let's get into this. And I'm going to try to do as many as I can tonight because I have other videos to do. So we're going to get into this. And if y'all wondering what's on my lips, because I know people are going to ask, this is Relentlessly Red by MAC. And I just straightened my hair. Wanted to see what it was looking like, y'all. It was bad. Like, straightened my hair, and I clipped a good 3 inches off, maybe a little more in some areas. I ain't care, but it's bad. I feel like I still should have cut more, but I have been neglecting my hair, but that's not what this is about. So, but this is my hair. Okay, enough of that. So here we go. Okay, so this first one says, "Hey Basima." Okay, girl, do you know me? You use my whole name. "I'm reaching out to you for some advice because I know you've been through a lot and you've grown from it. I'm currently 20 years old. I was living in New York but moved to PA because of my boyfriend. He's 21 and he got me pregnant. And my mom didn't want me living with her anymore. I'm 5 months pregnant as of now. He had came with me when I moved. We were living together for a little over a month, and then the landlord evicted him and said I could stay. People in the apartment were complaining about hearing his voice because we'd argue a lot. Now that we've moved, he constantly calls and texts me asking for my help because he's broke. He says all these hurtful things to me because I don't want to give him money. I feel like I don't want to help him out because of the things he said to me and shit he's done to me. He's never even spent much money on me, but always wanted something from me. I'm tired of giving, and him just taking. It's draining. Every time I block him, he uses a texting app to get another number to message or call me from, and it's so stressful. I don't know what to do. He acts like a little kid, then calls me a little girl, saying I'm a cunt bitch and he wanna fuck someone else, but then wants shit from me. It's crazy. He says he only says those things but doesn't mean it. But if someone constantly talks down to you and is always trying to hurt you because you're not giving them what they want, it's fucked up. How does he expect me to give him money when he talks to me so disgusting like that? And now I don't know what to do because we're gonna have a baby. Honey, okay, let's see here. He's disrespecting you, calling you all out your name, treating you wrong. None of this makes sense. He's using you for your money. He's using you for this. Y'all argued when y'all was together. You clearly know, and I'm saying this in the nicest way possible. You know what you need to do. Maybe you do want just, you know, to hear from other people, which is fine. But sweetheart, you know what you need to do. You need to make sure you take care of your baby. I wouldn't even try to focus on this dude. Like, clearly he's not trying to do what he needs to do. He has a responsibility. You guys are having a baby. You are pregnant. Like, you don't want that stress on you or your child. Anything you feel your baby feels, like, you are going to have to deal with this man because you guys are having a child together. So there's no way around that. But you still, just because you guys are having a child together, you don't have to put up with his mess. Make it about the child, not about your feelings for him or his feelings for you or whatever the case may be. you do what you need to do for your baby. Don't even worry about him on that level. Don't worry about helping him. He's a grown man. He can help himself. He needs to make sure he's getting himself together so he can take care of this baby that's on the way. So I hope that helps. But you already know, like, a lot of you guys send me this stuff and it's like, y'all know y'all getting treated wrong. And it's I know, because I went through it. Like, I knew I was getting dogged and cheated on and treated wrong and disrespected, but I still stayed. Like, I don't know if it's just a lot of low self-esteem, which in my case I think it was. Well, I know it was. But you have to find it within yourself to get over that, and don't just keep allowing yourself to accept this type of stuff from these men. So I hope that helps. Okay, this next one says, hey Basie, I love your channel and just wanted to hear your input, love. My name is, I'm not gonna say it, I'm 22 and I'm now single. This past year has been tough for me financially, to say the least. I moved out on my own for the first time at the beginning of last year, and just a week ago I made the decision to move back in with my parents. And that was a tough decision, but I figured it would be the best thing for me at this time. Something else that prompted this move was an abusive relationship that I was in. Although I pride myself in being smart, confident, and a strong young lady, that relationship has taken a toll on me mentally. I met this ex 2 years ago, but things didn't get serious until the beginning of this year. And I would say things never progressed in the past due to his problematic and aggressive behaviors. After realizing how he was, I totally moved on. I met another guy who is now my ex as well. I forgot about, what's his name? Jace, which is the first ex, y'all. Once me and Ty hit it off, which was her second ex. But Ty wasn't perfect either. He was a cheater and a drug dealer, but I loved him. So on one of the many occasions that Ty and I were off, I decided to hang out with Jace. That's the first ex. He started talking about a relationship with me and claimed he wanted to be with me. And honestly, I did not want the same, and I knew that, but I led him on in a way. Okay. So time went on, and of course Ty and I got back together, and like any other guy I dealt with, when Ty and I were not together, I cut Jace off. Oh my God, Basie, I didn't expect him to show up at my house one night while Ty and I were there. Mind you, Jace and I always been on and off, nothing serious. But I got caught, to say the least, and still did not have any feelings toward Jace. It wasn't until Ty got locked up and I found out he was cheating that I reached back out to Jace. Oh Lord. After hanging out a few times with Jace, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I decided to give it a try. He didn't become physically abusive until we got serious. It began with him showing up to my house with a gun, pointing it at me, accusing me of having someone there with me, which later turned into him actually shooting a gun in my apartment. That escalated to him spitting on me, hitting me, calling me countless of names. I forgave him several times to no L. He continued his behavior until the last blow up that escalated to him punching me in the mouth and busting my lip. I feel ashamed to say even after that I still wanted him back. Like, why would he beg for me to be with me just to hurt me? He left me after he hit me. Like, what the hell? Although I'm grateful that we no longer have any communication, this has almost broken me mentally. I also want to say that this is not the first abusive relationship I've been in. I feel like I've been carrying so much that it's beginning to be so much. I have a strong relationship with God and also with my parents, which is why I made it this far. But I don't feel like I can tell my parents everything and they understand you, you know? They've been married since they were teens, so it's different. Your advice would be great. Okay, first things first. It is never okay to stay in an abusive relationship. I should say. I'm sorry. This man has pulled out a gun on you. He has shot the gun in your home. He could have taken your life or someone else's. He's physically abused you, punched you in your mouth, did all of this stuff, but you went back to him. This is a big mistake on your part. He's wrong for everything he's done, but you are wrong for allowing yourself to be put in that situation. If you knew from the gate how he was, why do we do that? Like, you did not have to. I don't know if people think they just have to be with someone. Everyone wants to be in a relationship, and when it's right, you will know. But you don't have to rush it just because you think that guy is it right then and there, especially if you see a bunch of red flags, and yours should have went off like fire alarms and everything, because this is a big situation. Like, you said this isn't even your first abusive relationship. You are attracted to the wrong type of men. Cheaters, men that beat you, disrespect you. That's unacceptable. You said your parents have been in an 11 relationship, so from what it seems like, their relationship wasn't what you've been experiencing with the relationships you've been accepting. So why do you feel like, if you see a good example in your home or growing up, why do you go towards the bad situations? Is it that you just like bad boys, and then when the bad stuff happens to you, you can't handle it? You have to realize that you are worth more. You're not a punching bag. Like, you shouldn't accept this, and now it's messing with your mental. So you might need to talk to some therapists to try to get yourself where you need to be, because you can't have any high confidence, or you have to have low self-esteem to keep going towards these type of men, or going towards these type of men. No matter how we look, how we think we no matter how we look, no matter if we feel like we can only get these type of men, no, you do not settle. Never settle. And I'm sorry that you've gone through that, and I'm glad that you've moved from it, but you need to make sure that the next relationship, after you find yourself and get yourself together first, because you have to make sure you're right. That way you know what to look for and what not to look for in your next partner. But you need to really just chill out, take your time, and get the counseling you might need to figure out why it is you keep going towards these type of men. I hope that helps, sweetheart. Okay, this next one says, Basie, I need your wisdom. Girl, my wisdom? Okay, it says, hey Basie, have to say I love your name. So unique, but I digress. I've been married once, and that didn't turn out well, being that I mentioned it in the past tense, so I will make this as short as possible. I have 2 girls. I got pregnant at 16 and 18 with my ex-husband, who is 10 years older than me. So I am in my 30s with 2 teenagers and have rarely been single, but I am now. I live with my ex-boyfriend, who is my business associate, and we get along great as friends and have been like this for 1 year. I encourage him to go out and date, but he also wants to focus on his business. When he talks about other girls, it literally does not bother me. Is that weird? If y'all really just are friends, no, I don't think so. But, you know, I don't think so. If y'all don't have feelings for each other like that and y'all feel like y'all can live together, no, that's not weird. And what is this in my... Oh, no. I feel like being in less than satisfying relationships may have left me asexual. I literally don't have any sexual feelings anymore and just want to focus on my business, realtor/investor. The emotions of romance, affection, and intimacy have escaped me. I fear I will never experience them again, and my kids see this behavior and have made comments about not wanting kids or being in relationships. But right now that sounds good to me because they are so young. But what about their future? I want them to feel romance and love as adults. I just need some advice. By the way, love your videos. I rarely subscribe, but I had to with yours. I watch you every day. You need a national talk show. I would invest in it if I could. You would have a major public fan base. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, so I I will say this. I don't know how to tell you as far as how to get your sexual emotions back and feelings back. I've never experienced that, so honestly, I'm sorry, I can't tell you how to get that back. But what I can say, I personally have a friend, and she has certain issues with basically sort of kind of that way, and she has 3 children. And because she is somewhat like that, doesn't like to be intimate or show affection toward other people. She's only been with one individual her entire life, which was her husband. And she's scared to meet new people. They've been divorced for years and years and years. And she's just so wrapped up in her children, which they're getting way up there in age. And her children are seeing this, and they're starting to become this same way. And I've told her, you have to stop doing this because your kids see it. They're getting in high school and they're starting to react this same way or do some of the stuff you're doing as far as not wanting to. And right now, they don't need to worry about being in relationships. But as far as the whole liking someone or this and that, they feel like it's weird. And they're in high school and they feel like that's not normal because they see their mother do that. And I tell her, you can't do that, because kids living with you in the household, they see that, they're going to pick up on that. They're going to think that's normal. And so you don't want your daughters, like you said, you don't want them to be like that. You want them to experience love and have children and experience that. Just because you had a bad situation or what happened to you doesn't mean it's going to happen to them. So I don't know how to honestly tell you how to get that back, but I can tell you, you might not want to show so much of that around your children, because you are right. You do want them to grow up and be successful, find love, and have a family. But if they just see, well, mom, she doesn't care about this. She just wants to work. Love isn't important. Family, that situation isn't important. Just your career only. They could be in your same situation when they get older, and you don't want that. So you might want to try to encourage them not to do crazy stuff. But, just don't show how you feel so much around your children, especially if they're really young, because they'll think that's normal. But this one was a little tricky for me, so I don't know about the wisdom thing, but you get my drifts with sister girl. But I hope everything works out for you. Okay, this next one says, hey Basie, I'm 20 years old and I'm kind of lost right now. I've been with a guy on and off for about 2.5 years. We will call him Michael. The reason we have been so on and off is because of his cheating, but for some reason I would always get back with him, hoping he would change. Girl, we always do. Back in early April, I started talking to Michael again. During our whole relationship, when we would have sex, we never used any protection, which is dumb, I know. But this time we agreed to use the pull-out method because I was afraid of getting pregnant. And I really just wanted to see if I had any feelings for him. But when we had sex, he didn't do that. He was supposed to, and after told me that the time he used any form of protection with me would be the day he would never speak to me again. I was very upset that he did this because I thought I could trust him. I left and stopped talking to him. A month later, I found out I was pregnant. And I told him about it, and he got very mad that I didn't want to be with him and told me he didn't want anything to do with the baby because I didn't want him. See, men like that get on my nerves. Take care of your kid. Like, Okay, anyway, let's get back to this. He even told me he always hoped I'd get pregnant so I couldn't leave. He just texted me for the first time in weeks saying he was going to Basie and might or might not be there for the birth. Also, He wants to do active duty and not see the baby until the baby is old enough to get to know him, and only for a couple hours a month. What? He only wants to be a dad when he wants to be, and I really don't want my baby to go through that. I also started talking to a new man who we will call Joe. Joe knows I'm pregnant and is very, very excited for the baby. He's so good to me and is there for me 100%. We have been talking for a while now. When Michael found out about Joe recently, he told me I was a whore and a bitch and told me to have Joe raise the baby because he didn't want to. But Michael is with different women all the time. Also, I live with my aunt and she's very religious. My grandpa is a pastor. They don't know I'm pregnant. I have no idea how to tell them. They're very, very strict and freak out even when I take out my baby cousin because they say it looks bad because I'm not married. I'm sorry this is so long. Okay. Well, if you have a man that really is willing to be there for you during your pregnancy, be there for you for your baby, he's excited for your baby, a baby that isn't even him, like, that's rare. There's not a lot of men that will do that. This sounds like a good one. If the daddy doesn't want to get with the program, then deuces. You're not going to jump in and out of my baby's life. You're not going to be a daddy when you feel like it. And only see my kid a couple of hours a month. What kind of foolishness? No. I'm sorry. I feel like dads and parents should be in kids' lives. But if they don't want to be, then kick rocks. Move on with the new boo. And hopefully it continues to work out in your favor with him. And it can progress and turn into marriage and all kind of good stuff. Now, I know you're probably terrified about telling your aunt and your family, but I mean, you're 20 years old. I mean, they probably will be disappointed, especially if they're super religious. It happens. But at the end of the day, I mean, you're grown. It's a decision you made. Now you have to live with that. And hopefully they don't make you feel even worse about it. And I just hope everything does work out for you in that. But congratulations, and good luck with your situation. Okay, this next one says, hey Basie, I'm 16 turning 17 in November, and I started having an issue with my mother a while ago. Me and her have a great relationship and we are really close, but I'm a virgin. And with that being said, she always accuses me of things most teenagers are doing, like having sex, being pregnant, or just sneaking around boys in general. I can tell her I feel sick and she'll say, you better not be pregnant, or are you even a virgin? She'll even say, please don't have any boys in my house out of nowhere. Also, she has recently become so picky over my clothes because boys might be looking at me. Mind you, I'm not even curvy or anything. I'm a pure stick. All these accusations honestly hurt my feelings so much because I'm honestly a good girl. I make good grades, I'm respectful and responsible, and I'm such a homebody. I barely like going anywhere or socializing. I honestly believe she lets all her friends get in her head. But she claims I'm way too secretive, so she feels as if I'm doing stuff. But in reality, there's nothing to tell. This has annoyed me to the point where any and every boyfriend I've had in the past doesn't even get mentioned to her. And I never tell her because I'm so worried that she'll start believing things even more. I don't ever recall her doing this with my other siblings, but I'm her last child, and she literally is becoming more and more overprotective as I get older. How do I go about this situation? Because seriously, it's getting old and super annoying. Sorry if this was long. I love you so much, Basie, and thank you. I love you too, sweetie. Your email was funny though. Some parents are just like that. I didn't experience that, but you just have to keep reassuring to your mother that you're not like that. And honestly, if your mother's friends are putting this in their head, they need to worry about their kids, because their kids are probably the ones that's doing this, and that's why they're saying this to your mother, because they know your daughter, she's good, but you never know. You know, they might be putting all kind of foolishness in her head, but you just have to keep reassuring her. I know it could probably be annoying, and you don't want to ruin the relationship you have with your mom, and it's good that you're a responsible teen. Like, that is amazing. I'm very proud to hear that. But just really try to have a heart-to-heart and let her know in a respectful way that, Mom, you don't have to worry about me. I'm not that type of person. Just really tell her what it is, and hopefully she'll realize that you're a good girl. You're not out here trying to do all this crazy stuff. Okay, this will be the last Ask Basie. Any others, I will respond back to you in email, I promise. So it says, hey Basie, let me start off by saying that I absolutely love your channel on YouTube, and I think that your family is absolutely adorable. Also, congratulations on your engagement, and I can't wait to see how beautiful you look in your wedding dress. Now let's get down to business. Okay, girl. My fiance and I have been together for 3 years, and we are planning on getting married in September 2018. The same time as me, hey! There's only one issue, if that's what you want to call it. It seems like we have different views and opinions when it comes to sex. It wasn't much of an issue at the beginning of our relationship because we were 2 hours apart, but since we've been living together, it seems to be a problem. He says that he has needs, and I of course understand that. However, sometimes I feel like he just wants sex instead of needs it. On any given day, his sex drive is on 9 or 10, and I'm more of a 4 or 5. I don't know what to do. He wants sex 2 or 3 times a week, and I'm fine with 4 to 5 times a month. Okay. I mean, if I'm just not into it, then that should be the end of the discussion, right? Or should I go ahead and have sex with him to get it over with so he'll be satisfied? Advice, please. P.S. I'm 19. I'll be 20 in July. My fiance just turned 23 in April, and we have a 3-month-old son that was born in March. Oh, okay. So, listen, girl. So, my man is the same way. He loves some sex. He loves it. And he can have it very, very often. Now, I don't have to have it as often as him, but 4 to 5 times a month, no, I gotta have it way more than that. But I mean, y'all just really have to either come up with some type of scheduling arrangement or something. At least 2 times a week, maybe 3. At least 3 times a week. That's not bad. It's 7 days in a week. Get them on a Monday, maybe do a Wednesday, then a weekend day. You know, something like that. That way it's more often. But I mean, I know it's a lot of women like that don't have super high sex drives. Mine's isn't low, but mine's isn't super duper high. Mine's is like in between. But I mean, y'all just have to really talk about that or set up a schedule. Even though you don't want to set up a schedule for sex, that's like work. I mean, I don't know, maybe if you talk him in to like doing some romantic stuff, like when Terrence does romantic stuff for me or like little just special stuff for me, it gets me feeling a little way. You know, I get a little tingly inside, and then hey, it's on. So maybe if, I don't know, y'all try some different things, it'll probably get you more excited to do it more often. You know, I don't know. But just try some different things. Maybe, you know, that'll satisfy him and satisfy you, and in turn he'll have his sex a little more. I don't know, do you not enjoy it as much? Could that be why? I don't know. It could be different factors maybe you didn't want to mention, but I mean, just try some different things and it might get you more excited to want to have it more often. If not, I mean, y'all just have to really discuss it and talk about it, and if he can't accept that, I don't know where y'all go from there. Because do you think it's gonna mess up your relationship? I hope not. But I do know sex is a big part of relationships. So y'all might need to figure that out, because September is in 2 months, honey, and you don't want to be having to deal with this issue once you're married. So good luck. So you guys, that is going to be it for tonight. Again, I will respond to any others that I did not get to. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Please turn on your notifications if they are not already on, so y'all don't ever miss an upload from me. And I hope y'all enjoy. Also, you can always leave any feedback, but try to be respectful and not hurtful when giving your opinion or advice on any of these situations that I went over today. And yeah, I will see y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye, loves.